Hello and welcome back everyone to our final match of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament Group Stage. We have Nimanva versus up2ng. The winner will qualify for brackets and the loser is going home. I am Aaron to you too, and I have two guests with me tonight. They are the 2020 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament Champion DK9146 and the 2021 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament Champion Tilo. Welcome, guys. We'll go to you first, DK.
Yeah, thanks for that intro there. And with all those twos in your numbers there, 2022 might be calling for you here.
I mean, I that might have popped into my head at some point, but I might be getting a little ahead of myself. And welcome, Tilo.
Thank you. I'm excited for this one. This is the first race where the winner qualifies, the loser is eliminated, and so it's a beautiful thing to end our season with because it's basically a de facto playoff game. And so I am looking forward to this one between two phenomenal runners, two of whom are why I coined this particular one the Group of Death when it came out.
Yes. So what other sort of things happen as a result of this, Tilo, with this race? Because there is one other person who's impacted, correct?
Yeah, Betastrep has a pretty substantial interest in this. If up2ng wins, then Betastrep will be the 3 seed due to the loss to up2ng. If Nimanva wins, then Betastrep will be the 2 seed, Nimanva falling to the 3 seed.
Yeah, that definitely could make for a change in scenario, although the difference between, I guess, 2 and 3 seed is kind of irrelevant. Especially if you're not paying attention to the potential opponents, I guess.
There's a lot of dangerous people at that 3 seed, so getting the 2 to avoid facing another 2 isn't going to necessarily pay off that well for anybody.
All right, we are underway. Look at what do we got for stats here, DK? It looks like a fairly good start.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to mention. 17 strength, 16 agility. They do have a stop spell. We'll see if that's relevant, but they're going to grab some gold out of that first chest here, along with double key here. So they're going to have keys and a check of the treasury right away.
Double magic key start can be frustrating, but the double magic key start with gold is wonderful because you can immediately fill up your keys. You don't have to worry about saving, all that fun stuff. You can get an initial gold grind going and not have to worry about, oh, what's the implication of losing this key? So the double key with gold is always a fun way to start.
And we see a small difference already as up2ng went back up the stairs to initiate the extra set of gold chests for the gold glitch. Nim, however, did not. We'll see if he goes back and does that. Or maybe he's thinking, I'm going to jump in the basement or something really quick and not necessarily worry about that right away.
Yeah, if there is gold, we've been noticing that early gold grinds haven't necessarily been paying off without at least locating a town nearby. Plus, if there is stuff there and he walks back around, he can always go up in the throne room and reset the last 2 chests he opened.
And it does appear to be Swamp Cave, so he could have just taken a death there if he wanted to, and I think he's going to. He's going to just make a run and try to find something and probably die, but...
I think he's wanting to check the spike tile since he's here anyway and wants to die.
So did he make it? Is that what the spike tile is, the stone man? Because nobody really wants to see that.
I believe that is what happened. I believe the turns he made got him right there to the spike, and we saw a stone man, so he will probably never be heading back there unless a princess rescue is necessary.
So I've missed some of what we've seen here in the recap. Do either of you, were you following what we got?
Yeah, we have on the top left, we have an herb. Middle, we have torch. Bottom left, we have the dragon scale. And bottom right, we have the gold. Both of them open in the exact same order. So if Nim wants to repeat what up2ng just did and grind up those torches, he can feel free to do so.
Yeah, with 17 strength, you probably feel comfortable not needing the torches, but you also might as well just do it, I suppose. There's nothing else that's taken the place of quite yet.
Rumor has it that torches are actually capable of lighting up dungeons too, rather than just lighting up enemies. So it's possible that somebody might be wanting to do it for that reason as well. I don't know.
Oh, this is interesting. Torches against the poltergeist. They could take him down with 2 torches, but I think that's pretty unlikely. And
Poltergeist doing poltergeist things.
Yeah, it's reinforcing exactly why we all hate Poltergeist. And it's kind of surprising up2ng skipping like these red slimes and stuff. I know he can take on stronger things, but still, just getting that quick 5 experience to get that next level could be big.
yeah, and we see Nim got there first.
And because we really didn't have enough power, the game decided to bless us with an additional 11.
This is looking pretty good. The extra hit points there were pretty nice too, so we might see a heck of a start here. We did start with Stop Spell as a spell, which might prove useful, but it's always hard to tell.
Nimanva over here getting our first just crit of the match here, taking out that poltergeist without learning about the heal more.
Then he also got a lot of MP without learning any spells, so stats are looking good, but nothing yet spell-wise. We're still early. Now a wolf, that one's interesting, and then we see just below where up2ng was, we find Cole.
Yeah, 2 towns here. Cole, with a quick search spot, we'll see what he finds here, and it looks like we're going to pick up the Stones of Sunlight.
I mean, you're happy to have them, but you're not feeling like, you're just like, oh, okay, I guess.
$8,707 and hurt at level 4 for up2ng.
Hurt could still be useful, but at 43 strength, you're swinging on most things. Without some sort of heal spell or something to mitigate, you're probably not going after any of the low hit point, high defense things like a Rogue Scorpion.
So, Nimanva... Oh yeah, I was going to say, he just saw the big Flame Sword Magic Armor combo inside Brecconary and has opted to go ahead and do a full reset here. Is going to be looking to do an initial gold grind and get going. We'll see if that pays off.
And this could be a big change in how we go about the rest of the seed, because we see up2ng has not... he's just been grinding and getting these levels, and when you're level 3 to reset is a little different when you're level 5, level 6.
Yeah, so if you're Nimanva, you have to be really, really hoping that 2 things take place at this point with this all in play here is no hurt more for a while, and sword is not easily accessible nearby. If either of those end up happening, that's just bonus to up2ng.
And also worth mentioning, he didn't reactivate the gold grind going back in, so he's going to have to do that on the way in, hopefully, or else he's going to mess this up.
Well, the good news is he can just go back up into the throne room if he does that, and then can go get the gold again, because it will respawn the last 2 chests he opens here.
Sure, so he should realize the mistake before he does it. Speaking of mistakes, that NPC is just hanging out, double punishing him for it. And meanwhile, up2ng does pick up level 6 and gets hurt more, so that gold grind that Nim is doing may be cancelled out by the fact that up2ng's got... he might not have the big weaponry, the big armor, but he's going to have the big magic.
Yeah, at this point, the only way this gold grind really ends up paying off for Nimanva is if he was able to get the silver shield, which I don't believe we saw in either shop, or if the armors in Charlock, this purchase of a magic armor, can have a long-term payoff, because a dive with magic armor versus a dive with not magic armor is substantially different.
Yeah, exactly. There's still some payoff abilities, and plus with that additional attack he's getting here, he should be able to easily get to that level 6 hurt more really fast. So he should, in theory, not be, maybe 2-3 minutes behind getting to there.
Right. It doesn't completely negate the difference here, but it does soften it a lot. If up2ng was having to continue to struggle, with like maybe a hand axe and with lowish HP, this could be pretty rough. But just by virtue of the map, he's going to find these towns very quickly. Maybe not that quickly. I guess he found the Druid Lord with the spicy belch there first.
And that's just a little obnoxious because he had enough money for a hand axe, which we know is there, and he lost it, which now means that I guess he can just go back in the treasury here and grab some more, so it's not really that big a deal. Never mind.
And now the reset from him as a stone man stopped him. We hadn't seen that guy over there yet, so that was fun.
Our runner's finding all sorts of fun things hiding over there by those towns.
Exactly. I was going to say, like, I was thinking that the save by Nimanva here was a little cautionary, but that zone's a little nasty. DL2 Druid Lord Stoneman ends up playing out well for him.
Yeah, considering the 3-ish minutes that the gold grind took, not on top of the time lost beforehand from the experience he's not going to have, that is definitely, I think you saved that one, but if he lost that again, that would just be punishing.
Now the question I've been sitting here thinking about is, Nim going to remember to go back in the coal and pick up his stones before wandering around for a while?
That is an interesting thought. You might want to just, sky on that one if you're not thinking too close. There's also red dragons in this zone, so yeah, a whole lot of fun. Right outside of Sharlock is a Sharlock zone.
So, so now we've got exactly 560 gold on up2ng's side, going to hopefully get himself a hand axe in this third attempt at reaching these towns.
I think he got it before. He got the hand axe and the chainmail.
I'm actually not sure what he got that gold for. If he had a particular target for it, or just to have something.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he just wanted some money. Or I guess maybe like herbs and stuff. Or did he not get it? Maybe he didn't, and we just missed it on the tracker. Oh, never mind. Different town. Forget what I said.
Nim's going to be trying to bite off a little bit more than he can chew for that first level there with that Droll Magi, but yeah, so we'll see him start getting levels. I'll assume he'll try and take on a little simpler Zone 0 through 2 stuff here.
Yeah, again, even though you got all this stuff, you still got 22 hit points, you're still level 1. Getting really aggressive with the exploration might not be the solution right now, but a Droll is pretty beatable.
Meanwhile, up2ng took that extra money to go refill all of his keys and is going to be attempting to be the first one to cross the swamp cave.
Or he's gonna check that spike. He's not gonna find what he's looking for here, but it's an interesting play. That could be a perfect grind, and we know that up2ng is looking for good grinds.
That stone man was not having his attempt at doing the double hurt more luck.
Nim runs into a metal slime that runs right away, finds an armored knight immediately after that, and lands the crit. Only 52, had a max chance at 71, so still wouldn't have probably covered anything, but it was still hilarious to see.
Alright, and thank you very much, Ferran Burgundy, for the raid. Welcome. We are 12 minutes in. We have seen one player do a full reset for a gold grind for Flame Sword and Magic Armor. The other player, stuck on the grind, got a level 6 hurt more, and is now prowling around underneath the castle and swamp cave, killing and nuking things. And as you did point out, Nim has not went back to coal to get those stones, so we're looking forward to possibly a moment of confusion later when he tries to. Hopefully, he doesn't lose any real time on that, because that would be a heck of a way to get to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if he does any kind of tracking on the side, or if he just kind of keeps everything in his head. Probably be better for him if he keeps it in his head, because if you have that Stones of Sunlight marked off and don't get it later, you're going to be real confused.
So both of our players running in the metal slimes, both of them having no luck. I think up2ng is on the get rid of metal slimes completely group. So he sees those. He's probably groaning a little bit. And nope, Nim did not get one himself. So Metal Scorpion, though, isn't a bad enemy where he is right now.
Yeah, and that's what he's been killing. I think this is his third or fourth one now here. We have up2ng finding the mountain cave so far. Just herb and something else garbage there.
Yeah, it was an urban of fairy water. The mountain cave is just a little bit west of the exit to swamp. Wings, gold, so still absolutely nothing worth writing home about, except for he knows what's in those towns, and has a gold grind basically set up here, so he can go get the same gear that Nimanva just got a little bit ago without having had to reset. Unfortunately, missing that 5th chest in the process.
True, so if he does choose to do that, which I think in this scenario I would, if only for the magic armor, really, just with that extra defense bonus can be huge with Hurtmore. But, all of that in, we're going to see fairly close to even, but ouch, he swung on a Magiwyvern instead of using... Oh, you know what? He still doesn't have Hurtmore.
Yeah, just 23 away from it.
Or in Nimanva's terms, one more Metal Scorpion.
Let's see, would the Poltergeist do it? It'd be pretty close, not quite though.
And I was curious what up2ng was going to do. He did shoot right past that 7,700, so it does look like he's going to go ahead and pick up both items, the magic armor and the flame sword.
Yeah, now Nim has taken out that wolf, and he will get the good news of level 6. And again, that Hurtmore, we have a decent amount of MP. Right now, the only real problem is that the HP is lagging a little bit, but just as long as you don't, get one-shot killed, it's fine, right?
Yeah, that's been the motto of this tournament so far. Number 1, just crit. Number 2, don't die.
And what was that? Ran away from a Drakima. I saw, I think up2ng did the same thing. I don't know. I still want to kill that thing. Still 20 experience,
Yeah, I think in general it's really easy to be like, oh, I'm overpowered, I don't need to be wasting my time with these small things, but when you're on early levels, those small things add up real fast behind the scenes, and definitely can be worth going after.
I believe we just saw Weak Breath on the AK-47 there, the Armored Knight, and so that's something to note, but simultaneous levels, and our stats are 4114. Nice palindrome there.
Even synced herb usages. That was beautiful.
Yeah, so the interesting thing here is we had Nim resetting roughly 5 minutes in to get that gold grind to get this bigger gear. And ultimately, they're in a very similar spot, just with up2ng having mountain cave location knowledge.
Yes, that, and again, and I'll probably point this out constantly throughout, but Nim has still not picked up the stones, which he had before he reset.
$917, 1 and 0 at level 8. Nimanva making great use of this Hurtmore on the Star Wyverns to just rocket his experience up.
Yeah, this is fantastic. He's got enough to tank at least one hit from him. If the Hurtmore doesn't kill him in one, which it frequently doesn't, and then we got enough strength on the back end to just swing through and finish it off.
And up2ng finding Hawksness. This could be, if this is a good grind, we might see up2ng not really go anywhere but here for a while.
Yeah, Blue Dragon's not going to cut it right now. They don't have really the hit points. I mean, they could do the double hurt more, and he might actually be hoping to go in and attempt that. It's only basically a 25% shot to pull it off, and that assumes you get first action.
I wonder if he would consider a swing in this scenario too, but he does have to run. He's slightly under 50% to run, so that's not guaranteed in any way. And yeah, I don't think the Blue Dragon's going to have much of this. Oh, he's going to try. He's going to throw out the stop spell. He's going to hope it... Nope, it didn't do it.
Meanwhile, Nimanva gets his level 9 with some very minor gains along the way.
Yeah, very efficient grinding over there. I don't know when we'll see up2ng go back to Hawks, though. He's probably going to want to be a little safer before he tries to take that Blue Dragon on again.
Yeah, get a little bit higher hit points or heal more or something, because right now he's... it's just too much luck to be able to do that, I think.
And that Hawksness is a decent ways away from anything else, so it's not like it's a quick trip back if things go awry.
It's interesting. We're seeing up2ng exploring and Nim grinding, and that is probably not the way that someone would have guessed this would be going.
You know, up2ng's been surprising people a lot recently in his decisions on when to grind versus when to explore. He has done he still has done his very efficient grinds that he likes to do, but even yesterday, we had a point where he was going off in the world, and Veluvi was sitting there grinding, and people were like, wait, are the streams switched?
Yeah, exactly. I was commenting that one as well, and made mention of that during the race and to him in the post-race. So, yeah, that's been interesting. We'll see if, he's not getting good luck here, though, as he's pushing. He's finding some stuff, but nothing that's really helping. Mountain Cave with 4 chests that really didn't do anything. Gave him the ultimate setup for the gold grind, but, other than that, he's got 1 orphan chest there. He keeps dying the red dragons, knows where Hawksness is. Doesn't have a real viable chance at taking it out, though, so we'll see what he can end up doing here.
Maybe this is another play to go through. I think he found the enemies in this zone to not be too bad. I can't remember exactly what we have, but I think there was at least 1 Spectre, which is a decent enemy. Not perfect for hurt more, but you'll take it most of the time. Oh, the 81 AP might just swing on him.
There are Magiwyverns hiding here in this swamp cave. He might just sit here going up and down inside the cave.
Alright, Nim gets the first Red Dragon run of the seed. This Red Dragon run has been brought to you by Agility Does Matter? I don't know.
That's roughly like a 30% chance to run in that situation, so it's not great, but it's not unheard of for something, to run at this agility. They've got a pretty high one at this point.
Well, he did just run first try from another one, so something is going on here. Maybe they've been paid off.
Yeah, meanwhile, Nimanva has decided to go ahead and press some exploration of his own, heading north of where he was there in Sherlock, and comes across his own cave here.
Well, Jerk Cave, something to note for later. Hopefully, don't forget it. Of course, for him to go there, he will have to pick up the stones in coal.
up2ng, meanwhile, comes across the other trade-in cave for the harp, so once they find the stuff, they've collectively got everything they need to get into Sherlock.
Oh, nice. And dual green dragon kills. This one gets level 10 for Nim, though. That is 8 power, 8 agility, 21 hit points, and 7 magic points. That is a good level.
But unfortunately, up2ng's Green Dragon liked to use sleep and sent him packing.
Yeah, and even with all this stuff, they still have no healing, and that can be quite frustrating at this point when you've got so much firepower but no survivability. You want to go out into good zones, but you die before you can get there. It's just it can really get frustrating.
And up2ng going back into the basement. Maybe that's what he's thinking. You know, this grind is reasonably safe, even though it can't last for very long unless he gets the upper hand on the Magic Wyverns or whatever. I think that's the most dangerous enemy we've seen down here, right? Except for the Stone Man on the spike.
Oh, while that's happening, Nimanva found the large shield at the shop in Rimeldar, and then found a cursed belt hiding behind the chests in the Rimeldar Inn. Seeing that cursed belt, he knows at least one of the search styles is occupied, and which it all comes back to, we at least know the Stones of Sunlight are occupied on Cole, and we'll hope that maybe jogs his memory.
Exactly what I was thinking as well. I was like, I wonder which spot could be occupied here.
Well, that was a nice geographic formation. I don't think necessarily any particular type of terrain is linked to any other type of terrain, but when you see a bunch of those, what I call hills next to the mountains like that, it just seems appropriate. I've been told that those are technically mountains, and that the things I called mountains are craggy mountains, but I don't necessarily believe it, even though I'm sure it's true. And alright, that zone wasn't really that safe after all because it was an AK-47, but that might not be enough to stop him. And it looks like he's going right back down, because that's a decent enemy to kill too, and he's very close to level 9.
Yeah, we see over on the left we have Nimanva also taking down some AK-47s of his own, and that, those 172s a pop is fantastic. And in addition, another red dragon run on the first try, which is very, very fun.
Following that up with the 1 out of 16 hurt more miss to try to balance RNG out a bit.
Well, unfortunately, agility does not help enemy evading spells. What stat could possibly impact that? Sorry, that made so little sense I confused myself after I said it.
I will segue quickly to point out that the AK-47 has heal more as well. So that makes it even more obnoxious to deal with. It seems to be fairly low percent, but the good news about AK-47s and heal more with your doing hurt more is that if they throw a heal more after your first hurt more, then your next hurt more will not get them in heal range, so you can kill them with 2 more guaranteed. But it is a very expensive battle.
And hey! Nimanva with the Stones of Sunlight. GG.
Maybe that cursed belt did indeed jog his memory. Or maybe he was waiting till he needed to load up on herbs again to come back.
Yeah, I think it's kind of fun that the 2 closest towns to where you could buy some of these herbs are the 2 completely worst shops you can possibly get to.
Maybe, I don't know what you call that, little insult to injury or something along those lines.
Alright, we got up2ng heading straight west out of start again. If he goes north, he's heading right back to where Hawksness was.
I wonder if he's going to try to clear the map out past it, or if he's going to be like, let's do this again.
Maybe he's looking for some big win here. He hasn't had the biggest amount of success in the last couple of minutes, so... And that is painful. That is a death you take that you gained nothing from that entire time is just lost. And that's got to hurt a little bit.
Meanwhile, Nimanva is coming up on to a Hawksness right now, manages to first try a run from a red dragon yet again in the process. We'll see if this blue dragon treats him as well as these red dragons have so far.
Yeah, he's using up all his run luck goodwill a little bit early. We'll see if that pays off or punishes him once we get into a Sharlock dive.
Yeah, nice Demon Knight find, 90 experience. He's really close to the level. I thought maybe he would pause slightly before rushing in here, but nope. We see the blue dragon, immediate hurt mark cast. Fails. If he runs from this, he has a chance to swing this one down even, I think.
Well, evidently, the blue dragon has like 80% resist to the hurt more. Finally gets one to land, but was in a position where he couldn't win. Kind of surprised he didn't try to run and heal up.
I mean, running and healing up is kind of expensive right now with no heals. You just went, it takes you a minute to load up on those herbs. You load up on the herbs, go back in, still miss those hurt mores, and now you've lost even more time. And you never know what he might be hiding behind the scenes.
The thought that I had was that maybe he would, immediate hurt more on up2ng, and he's just swinging to end this. That did not work out well for him either. So that is another dive. This is a challenge in the decision right now, but whatever is in Hawksness could be really useful, but also they kind of just need experience right now, I think.
I mean, honestly, the armor is great, the sword is great, but you have the magic armor, you have the flame sword, the blue dragon will be there later, and you still need to find at least one other key item. I don't know how much it's worth just continuing to push against this wall when you could take out one real easily later. I just don't know you're gaining that much. Obviously, Erdrick's armor is nice, but with the magic armor, you can survive long enough without it to make it not an urgent matter.
And that is a question going into the later parts of this game that we'll have to see answered. But first, Nim picking up level 11 with the 1 power, 2 agility, 5 hit points, 1 magic point. Pretty boring level.
Yeah, that doesn't change the math on much at all here, but Nim opted to go ahead and bypass Hawksness when he headed north here and is further in the exploration to the northwest portion of the map.
And what I was saying before is that we've seen both spikes. They both are enemies that Hurtmore doesn't really incline yourself towards a grind on them, so we'll see. He might try to take out the Stone Man. Nope, he's out.
Yeah, it does come across the town of Gurnham, though. This is a pretty nice find. It's well past Hawksness. 3 chests plus a cave in the back. We'll see what he gets here, as up2ng is playing the role of Kevin Costner in Tin Cup today.
Well, he caught a metal slime. If he gets this, that could be good. It doesn't seem like it wants to be got, though.
And he manages to take it down. I wonder if he considers looking for another one before trying to go at this blue dragon again.
Who cares about whatever's there? Nim and Grinham finds the armor, fighter's ring, and the what was that? The silver harp. So 3 huge pickups right there all together.
That was a very nice back of Garenham.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen a Garenham that's been that friendly. Usually even maybe just 2, but all 3 items fantastic with tablet in the basement.
10 out of 10 would Garenhamster again.
So what are we expecting to be in tablet?
Well, given this, I would assume the sword.
Yeah, it's either the sword or the wings, nothing in between.
Well, that is cursed belt number 2, so 2 of our search spots are active. However, we have already found one in Cole there. So we have Hawksness and Cantlin as mildly higher priorities, as they can only have... Well, we still have most of our key items to go, don't we? Sword, token, flute, and death necklace. This basically confirms for me that once they do get through Hawksness, they're going to be rewarded with the flute.
And the nice thing for Nim, from his perspective, is he hasn't pushed through Swamp Cave yet, where up2ng's already came across that harp turn-in. So he's going to already have that in hand, and it's always nice to have that when you do locate that cave, so you don't, 1, have to try and remember or track it, and 2, just get it out of the way while you're there.
We're going to see both of them going back into Hawksness now. We're going to see one more attempt. Oof. And then there's red dragons in the zone too, so I guess it's not so good right now.
Nah, you just run from the red dragons. We're on team just run on the left here, getting away every time.
Now this is an interesting thought right now. With the way that your stats are compared to this blue dragon, you have a decent chance of swinging through it, I think. You should have enough attempts, even with the hurt mark.
So we do see a red dragon hiding in Hawksness. up2ng gets away first try too. And Aaron called it. It is the flute. Let us see if everybody gets the points DK.
I think if I'm in the role of up2ng in this race, and I finally get through this blue dragon like he just did here as he picks up level 10, I've just dedicated 10+ minutes towards this, and I see the flute. I'll have trouble holding on to my controller as I want to throw it, I think.
So he decides to keep the flute over a much more interesting and useful item, the torch.
Curiosity, there's a bridge just a little bit east of the castle. Have either of our runners actually gone across that and seen what's north?
I know Nim did for sure. It goes up and slightly east and dead ends pretty quickly, and both with nothing.
Oh, actually, I guess Nim just came from that direction. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a loop to where Hawksness is. Like, I think you could go all the way around, right?
No, north of Hawksness did go north and then east and dead-ended at Garenham.
Okay, so all those times that up2ng went to Hawksness, he might have been able to find Garenham if he had went through. Not to second guess the runners too much here, but that is something that kind of will pop into his head later when he does get over there.
And what is up with these red dragons? That's, I think, the 4th or 5th zone we've seen them in. Well, we've seen them in 3 overworld zones at minimum, plus the Hawksness zone, and possibly a 4th. They are definitely prevalent all over the place.
They are also being run from at a remarkable clip between our 2 runners. That I think is... well, hold on, let's see what happens here. That is now 3 successful runs and 4 attempts on up2ng's side in the last 3 red dragons.
Yeah, that's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Beta Strep in shambles in chat right now, wondering how this run luck actually works.
Meanwhile, Nim picks up level 12, 0 strength, 4 agility, 11 hit points, 5 magic points, and the Spell of Outside, which might still see some use. We're still looking for Grave at some point, or have we seen that already?
I don't believe we've seen Grave. I don't think we've seen Tablet. I don't think we've seen Freebie Cave.
Now, Tablet was in the back of Garenham with the bell at the bottom, but yeah, the other 2 are still outstanding.
Oh, right, yeah.
That red dragon, for a little bit, remembered that it's supposed to stop people from running, but Nim still did eventually get away. I think we've seen Mountain, but did we see a full clear of Mountain? I seem to think that up2ng got killed before he cleared it.
Yeah, we saw the first 4 chests, but we did not get to number 5.
And yet another red dragon zone here blocking Nim from this cave, but he does get away, and we're going to see one of those 2 locations, and it's the freebie.
Nice. And a little bit of gold. Probably not going to be needed. I don't think we're going to see Nim go shopping again. Unless he really, really feels like the silver is necessary, but...
So at this point, from our perspective, there are 6 chests left to search and 1 potential, and the overworld spot.
Right, and with the way strength is went, you're not even really too concerned about the sword right now, I think. You're just trying to find the remaining things that need to be found and to clear them out so that you have an idea of how you're going to finish the rest of this.
Yeah, up2ng just really needs to move back northwest past Toxins to get to Garenham, which had all the goods, as it looks like Nim is coming across our grave.
Good news is that after the disappointing flute acquisition, up2ng has decided, you know what, let's just grind again. And so he'll hopefully... Unfortunately, we know these levels he's going to get are going to be absolute trash, but is at least making progress towards catching up again.
Red Dragons Engrave, who would have thought?
I think that's how up2ng's tour in Mountain ended, if I remember right.
Oh, very good call. That is a good assumption, because yeah, he did die to that, and that was Mountain 2.
But alright, Grave 1 has the token. That means his homework is more or less done, with the exception of I still don't think he's found the Staff of Rain cave yet. Double checks on that Fighter's Ring, good thinking. And then we see some gold and magic key.
Alright, so we see him leaving right away. We're down a sword, but from his perspective, there's still a death necklace and a sword running around. He still has a few locations, which I know we can get to through Swamp, the mountain, and the harp turn-in. Is he banking on maybe trying to find Cantlin and Cords? At this point, thinking maybe it's inside Sherlock. He still has all 5 mountain chests as well in his mind, so he has a lot of checks left.
Yeah, and I'm usually very firmly in team always dive grave, but I definitely can understand the position here of the resources are fairly limited. He's already down to 22 MP, has no healing capabilities, and has traveled quite a good distance, so a death trying to dive deep grave will cost him a couple of minutes just to get back where he was. And so trying to get that exploration while he has this position does have some substantial value.
Yeah, very fair points, and that's what he's got to weigh at this point, is the exploration for the overworld and all the other stuff he hasn't found versus 2 possible chests that low percentage chance of having the item you're looking for.
And I believe that's got to be Cantlin on the screen now.
Yeah, if that's true, then all he's missing is Mountain and that harp trade-in. And we'll see, he's not going to check any of the shops. He's going directly down to talk to this old man, figure out where he left his stuff at. Alright, 45 north, 54 east, kind of, again, a little bit of a palindrome there with the numbers. But we'll see. That's probably countable. I don't know. We'll see if he goes for the princess. It's pretty close, right?
Yeah,
I don't think it's very far from where he is.
Yeah, based on the map I've been drawing this entire time, that's going to be up near where he came across Rimolder. I'm not sure exactly where this is at all, though.
Yeah, this seems to just be extremely east. Maybe a little bit of south. So, we'll see. Again, the princess is underneath the basement there. If he has to count, he has to go back there anyway. So, we might just go ahead and pick her up.
All right, so let's say you're Nim here. We finish our exploration here. We get our turn-in cave located. Maybe even come across mountain because I'm pretty sure he's going to pass mountain on the way there. And we find out that this overworld cords leads to the death necklace. How do you approach the sword play at that point?
Well, he still hasn't found mountain, correct?
Correct, but he is going to pass mountain on the way to finding that harp exchange. It's due south of it.
That is the situation where I probably opt to, in this seed especially, I'm probably going to go ahead and dive Sharlock to see if I can find the sword, and the reason for that is because our grind options are hideous. And so, the process of diving, you're also likely to be getting experience at much lower of a clip than you would be getting if you were doing a dedicated grind at one of the grind tiles. So you're not going to lose a lot of time, and you're going to be able to knock that off and know, do I need to dive grave or not?
Yeah, and I like that play, and honestly, especially because, as mentioned, the grind tiles aren't very nice, and we have a ton of red dragons. If we could ever get a Dagon Healmore, that would be fantastic to be taking those guys on for 350 a pop.
I will amend that to say I would not attempt to do the Sharlock dive for the sword unless I had a healing spell.
I don't know about that. I think with the armor, I don't know. I would feel sort of comfortable going in without either. 6 herbs, probably okay. I don't know.
But that's all for now. Erdrick Sword on the overworld, 2 steps away from Rim. I was much closer than I was anticipating.
99 tiles, perfect first search. That was a very impressive look. And now he knows he doesn't need to bother even finding or diving mountain if he finds it. I mean, he can for hopefully a death necklace, but if he comes across the staff trade-in first, then I don't know if you can come across the staff trade-in first. But if he does, then he won't even bother looking for mountain.
Absolutely, yeah. Unless he's at 84 HP, 76 strength, I'm not thinking right now that Death Necklace, at least in my mind, would be at the forefront of my thoughts. But yeah, with nothing else of value to find, I think I would have to skip it myself. And he's making the right play going through, so he must have his first continent exploration figured out. So if he goes west out of this cave, he's going to find it pretty quickly.
All right, and while he's been doing all of this, up2ng has just been grinding down here in the swamp basement and is almost caught up in experience. It's actually been very fruitful for him. The only thing that hasn't really worked out for him is the fact that Nim has been finding everything he needs at a pretty regular clip while he's been doing that.
The thing is, if he sits there and grinds until he gets a healing spell, if that happens at level 13, he'll be able to do the homework a lot faster than Nim was able to, and be able to get a lot more experience in the process. So he might be able to not fall quite as far behind, or might not fall quite as far behind while doing the exploration, as kind of Nim has had his experience stagnate a bit while up2ng's been grinding.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say, and it was just proven on Nim's side as he gets outside of Swamp, takes 3 steps, Red Dragon, finally not letting someone run from him, and sends him back. So that's just been a whole, minute plus of time lost there.
Well, Nim's down here too, and he's also getting to kill a few of these armored knights, maybe. So, like I said, experience gap. What you said about the heals is probably very important, though. And it just depends where it comes. If because the grind he's doing is not perfect by any means, especially with this encounter rate being what we're seeing right now on up2ng side, where he's finding nothing. I think he's repelling everything but 2 enemies as it is. And Nim is instead just finding Dragimas and just killing them over and over and over.
Well, you were asking earlier about them running from Drakimas, so Nim decided to answer you by taking one down in a very, very impressive fashion.
Yeah, that was a nice crit there. So Nim actually kind of settling into this exact same grind that up2ng's been doing. He ran into that Armor Knight and has decided, you know, I'm this close to level 13, let me go ahead and get it first.
Which was, I don't know, he did get a lot of experience, and now he's just finding all of those enemies that he could be repelling. Although, I think he's still not repelling a Magic Wyvern, so if he did throw out that repel, he would still just have the 2 enemies he probably really wants to see. And while we're in this sort of holding pattern, just a reminder to our viewers that the winner of this race will have a spot in brackets and the loser will not. So this is an extremely important matchup.
And at level 13, Nimanva gets gets Heal More, and so now Exploration is good, and that means up2ng is about to get Heal More and be able to do the Exploration while taking down red dragons, and may be able to keep on pace with Nim while exploring.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. And we see Nim luckily tried to go south and east away from that red dragon zone, got stopped immediately by a dead end, and is now having Mountain Cave on his screen, and we'll see what he opts to do. Or no, he somehow bypassed Mountain, which is just north of here then, and gets what he needed.
Oddly enough, not immediately returning, but continuing the exploration, so I am curious what he is thinking at this point in time, if he is wanting to grab, see if he can get the Death Necklace, or, yeah, I can't think of what other reason he wouldn't have just returned and immediately headed towards Jerk.
Yeah, it is very peculiar, because right now that would just be hedging bets at best. I mean, we only have 94 hit points, so we clearly need a couple more levels, but are we realistically going to get there? Yeah, you know, the game kind of messes with us. Who knows at this point, though, to be quite honest.
And especially if he decided to leave those 2 chests in Grave without looking for them, then, you know, even searching for this isn't going to guarantee you that you know where Death Necklace is, and he's not going to go back to Grave to go dive it, so it just feels to me like if you wanted to hedge those bets, you should have been thinking about that back when you were in the Grave. At this point, you've just got to say, you know what, it's going to take less time probably for me to get to the next level than it is for me to go find and explore all this stuff just in case Death Necklace is needed.
Yeah, absolutely agree. But I do love that golem kill there, and he did use the flute initially. It looks like he's going to try it again. It woke up on the first one, and he opted to just swing through it using Heal Mores. I think that's probably the better play, even with having to use maybe 2 or 3 Heal Mores in there, just to speed it up.
Yeah, it's generally, I feel like, a very common strategy that a lot of people do. I know I certainly do it a lot, which is, you give the old college try for the sleep lock, you throw out a sleep on a stone man, or you play the flute for the golem one time, and then you're not going to keep doing it. You're saying, that's all I'm trying. If you wake up, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way, but at least I'm giving myself a chance for the sleep lock.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're wanting to pursue some sort of exploration. If he had, well, honestly, the flute didn't matter at all, but because it never worked. But it would have saved him a heal more or 2 from where he is now.
Well, he's got his mountain cave here. He's going to throw that torch, and we'll see if he can full clear it or decide. Oh, a lot of thinking now.
And as expected, as soon as up2ng gets his healing spell, he immediately outsides and is going to begin his world exploration again. Yeah,
unfortunately, just heading east. maybe earlier just was so locked on that Hawksness spike tile and killing that blue dragon, not noticing that the pathway continued north around there. Because as we all know, he needs to get to Grinham. Has huge implications here with armor and barf, especially fighter's range just the bonus.
I do know that up2ng does not map at all, and so it's possible, because of the way he was kind of laser focused on that, that he was thinking that was the top of the world, and it may be the very last place he tries to go back to.
So he's going to get the information about the location of the Jerk Cave, which will be useful at some point. However, he's going to do a lot from now on. I don't recall if there's anything else beyond here. No, wait, there's Remolder is over here, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Rem, eventually, once he has Chords, the sword, and a lot of dead ends.
And Nim is enjoying swinging on these red dragons. He might not full clear Mountain, but it looks like he's going to pick up 14 before he's out of here. Level 14 was 1, 1, 10, 5. Not exactly what you're looking for. We see a few stats in the green there. We do have the possibility. And hey, he also finds the death necklace in the bottom of Mountain. So it wasn't for nothing, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of dumb luck, to be quite honest, but, you know, it might pay off. We just saw that last level only gave 1 strength, but did give 10 HP, so, you know, kind of edging him that much closer to possibly being able to use that death necklace safely, but, we'll see what he opts to do here. Manages to get him another red dragon down, as he's walking back.
Yeah, we might see him just grind over in the the swamp next to Cole or something. Because red dragons, golems, these are all fairly decent enemies. I don't think we've seen the perfect enemy to fight for a grind yet, since both of our grind tiles are pretty boring.
I mean, as far as I see it in the current flag set, unless they have something nasty or another monster has something really, really good, the great grind you're going to find is going to be the red dragons or the golems because of the experience they give. You don't really need that much better than this.
Now, normally it might feel a little bit bad using this flute on the golem because it's something like, 7-8 seconds just to use the whole thing for the entire loop. And just the fact that it could wake up right away like it did. He might just be deciding to go ahead and take that death.
He can also, I don't know if they ever found a Silver Shield or he'd have any interest in doing it, but with having died from Mountain, he could set up that last Silver Shield grind.
I thought it popped into my head, but it looks like he is not doing it. I wonder if he's thinking about going back there and grinding in that zone. You know, Mountain isn't too far through here. Possible? I don't know. If I were him, you know, in that thought, I'd probably go to Grave One instead. It's a little quicker. No, it looks like he might take a few swings at the Stone Man here. He is very close to the level, so in this sort of scenario, good grind or bad grind doesn't really matter as long as you just get to it. But if 15 isn't the go level, I don't know if we'll see him stick around.
Yeah, gosh, I just hate a Stone Man grind so badly. I get that it's a recurring enemy that shows back up and it's very conveniently located, but I can see the thought of getting level 15 here. It's, you know, it's only 6 more from here, but I couldn't stay here, I don't think.
Now, you know, you were just in a big desert that was sending golems at you right and left, and you know the amount of time you get that experience with against those golems. The battle versus the Stoneman is not particularly faster than the golem, and so you can make up several Stoneman's worth of time or the amount of time it takes you to walk to that desert, you can still make up what you're doing here. It's. I feel like this is a major time sink.
And I don't know about the sleep cast. That would be the thing of this that kind of, I would just be swinging like crazy because you're going to run out. You kind of want to run out of resources by the time you get to 7,500 anyway. Just take the death and be done. Meanwhile, on up2ng's side, he has been continuing exploring and not really finding anything, unfortunately. Back to Rimulder, however you call it, and looks like we're going to see it again, but the path to Cantland, which is really what I think he's looking for over here, is kind of convoluted and requires a ton of swamp. Just I don't think I emphasized that at all. There's so much swamp over there.
It's very rare that you find a screen that is literally all swamp tiles, but we have seen that one in this seed. And that was in Nim's trip to Cantland. So yes, I think you sold it very well.
With the direction he's going, though, we got a town right away here.
That's actually Cantland. He came at it from a much nicer angle.
Well, never mind. There we go. We will find it. The question will be, does he go check in that chords, or does he nope out and just keep searching? Because he will find Grave. And Grave had nothing, if I remember right.
Yeah, Grave had key money. No, Grave had token in the top. So he does need to hit Grave. It's on the far east coast.
All right, good. I did write that down and forgot to look. Now, level 15 for Nimanva, 1, 2, 10, 14, and heal. That is still not really go mode, but it's making the Death Necklace search look a little bit better.
Yeah, I need that strength to come along here. More agility is always appreciated no matter how much we make fun of it. But MP, we're one away from a 12th heal more, so we're really getting close. We're at that like 16 level 17 go here, depending on how friendly the game decides to be.
If the last two levels are any indication, then we're going to be in go mode at level 17 with 134 hit points and 124 attack power, making us Death Necklace eligible.
So question in chat, does this race mean things? Absolutely. The winner is in, the loser is out. So whoever wins gets a position in the bracket stage for their group, and the loser is done for their tournament.
There is one small thing that doesn't make it 100% clear cut, and that's only that it does also impact Beta Strep's positioning. But the difference between a 2-3 and a C3, how did a 2 seed and a 3 seed doesn't really mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Everybody that's making brackets is just extremely good, regardless of seeding. So it isn't really going to matter who you have to play at this point. We do have up2ng coming across the Grave here. We'll see with his minimal resources if he dips out after the first 3, or because he has way less items. He still has not found Garenham with all that extra stuff. So if he decides that he wants to do a full clear.
Yeah, in his situation with healing items, I would definitely be thinking full clear. But this Red Dragon may have other plans.
And since it was mentioned, I believe after the show, we will be having the grand reveal of the brackets, as this is our last regular season match. We still have a tiebreaker to go, but I believe we're just going to register that as Druin seed number 3.
I think at this point we've decided we're actually just going to have all 3 of them play in like a relay every couple minutes. The controller switches between the 3 of them, and it'll be real fun.
Man, I don't know if I want to play against 3 people. I feel like the additional brain power is probably enough to destroy me. Although we might just see like I don't know, like Kigless hands the controller over to Guelph, who just angrily says, "Why weren't you grinding?" and then just grinds for 5 minutes.
It's a new meaning to co-op.
I can't stop laughing. I'm seeing all these different scenarios in my mind. And it's absolutely hilarious. We could have so much fun with that. But up2ng does get those top 3 items. Is starting to head towards the dive, but is very low on resources now. And this is a scary zone, so we'll see if he can make it down there.
And while we're talking about all the different scenarios you're imagining, we did see a scenario we were very familiar with, which was up2ng getting an excellent dodge by a Demon Knight.
Yeah, something those guys are notorious for, but anyone who's played this game for any amount of time just knows that Demon Knights exist to make you think that 15 out of 64 is much higher than it actually is.
Well, this Red Dragon eats up that last heal more. He has a good chance at taking it down with this swing here, but doesn't. Stays alive with 2 hit points. Going to get it down with this swing, but we'll see what he opts to do. I mean, he is practically out of everything, but he is pressing forward.
I guess in this scenario, you might as well try it. And if you find something great, and if you don't, I mean, you go do your count, or you go do something else.
Yeah, I actually really like the decision to say, you know what, I'm just going to go with these red dragons, and if that means I don't get these last 2 chests, so be it.
Yeah, just unfortunate for up2ng. As we're aware at this point, there can absolutely be nothing down here as he gets wings out of chest 4. On the left, we did see Nim pick up the rainbow drop, so he is in full grind and go. Has opted for this hill set for these red dragons.
Yeah, we've seen nothing special out of the Red Dragons. This really feels like the good choice. He can get hit with his defense power. He can get hit for 41. However, I mean, that's whatever odds it takes to get a max roll from an enemy, I guess. And yeah, Sharlock is basically a screen away from Tantagel, and both of our towns are right next to it, so that hasn't been a problem. In fact, I could, while we have just a moment, what was the final chest there in Grave?
I believe that was an herb.
Alright, plants growing out of Garen's grave reminds me of a Final Fantasy Tactics reference. Maybe somebody poisoned Garen? Spoilers.
So up2ng's doing the sad piece of walking back out of grave because there's just nothing down here that'll kill him. He has no resources left. It's kind of sad, unfortunately for him. But we'll see what he opts to do if he takes a death here, if he runs into something or gets out of there. But we're going to get Nim on level 16 on the left.
Yeah, I guess this would be the downside of what we were talking about before. And there it is. Level 16 looks like that's go mode, I think?
Yeah, by my chart, 134 attack power, you need 14 swings, you've got 13 heal mores right now, you are in absolute go mode.
Yeah, 100% agree. Only thing that kind of is a little bad is, our defense is a little light, so we could get hit up for a 50 by the Dragon Lord, but nothing I would be considering at this point. Especially going against somebody as strong as up2ng.
So up2ng manages to get out of grave, only to get stuck in swamp and die, except now he's going to fight a Droll Magi, who, let's see, cast her. Okay, that worked. I was just wondering how much more this death was going to be prolonged. Like, he would have been just fine getting killed at any point in grave, especially after that 5th chest, but nope, nothing kills him. He walks all the way out, and then he decides, well, hey, I can get to a town now, maybe I'll just do that. But nope, the game decides to kill him with a troll Droll Magi.
Yeah, well, before he kind of froze up there, we'll see if his... there he goes, finally. Looks like he's going to go back into swamp or through swamp again. Just unfortunate that he has not gone up that west coast out of the starting area, because Grinham is maybe 45 seconds north.
I wonder if he's going to go get the princess now, since he wants to, rather than trying to count out those coordinates.
Yeah, very fair. That's a good call as well. Especially since he doesn't map, he might not have that mental note of how windy it was to get back into that general vicinity of where those chords were.
As a quick update for anyone who is a little bit low and wondering what we are missing is, the things that we have found, the sword was on the coordinates, the death necklace was in the last chest in Mountain, the stones were in Coal, flute was in Hawksness, which is much to everyone's chagrin, the token was in the first floor of Grave, and then the silver harp, Erdrick's armor, and the fighter's ring, for what it's worth, were all in Grinham. And Grinham is just past Hawksness, which is nowhere near where up2ng is going.
Yeah, and so far, Zone 1 of Sharlock for Nim on his dive here is going fairly well. We've seen nominal enemies at best, and he's been successful in getting away so far. We'll see if the other two zones treat him a little worse or the same.
Yep, made it through Zone 1. That's the scariest one to me. Zone 2 is the shortest, so you generally relax a little bit, unless the first step you take happens to be like an Armored Knight or something. He does have the run advantage over everything except for Armored Knights and Red Dragons, but each of them are respectively only 50% chance to appear in any particular zone.
All right, there's the princess grab for up2ng, so he'll be taking her outside and right upstairs to her father, and he'll be heading northeast towards Rim to find his sword here in a couple moments.
He uses the wings. I guess he was just burning inventory so he didn't lose the torch. It was just really interesting to see use the wings to go down one square.
Hey, sometimes that one square you walk runs into a slime that ambushes you, deal 2 breath, and bad things happen.
That would be about the most hilarious / terrible thing I think I'd ever see in this game.
We do have Armored Knights in the bottom floor of Sharlock, so that is something we're going to be keeping an eye on.
And he is not a run favorite against these guys or the other red enemies, the Red Dragon. And this one is not cooperating at all.
We warned him about it, but it appears that he wasn't listening, and Nimanva decided to use all of his good run luck against those Red Dragons early on.
Now, in scenarios like this, you might think with 134 hit points, let's just swing. But I believe we have seen that the AK-47s have heal more, and I think Nim knows that as well. So that makes swinging on them generally a bad idea.
Yeah, unless he gets lucky and it's a 25% and he gets past it, yeah, you're going to tank all those hits and then just reset the battle on yourself.
And because one Stone Man spike wasn't just quite obnoxious enough, we have another one.
Still throwing out the sleeps. This isn't impacting his heal more count, which is probably the thing you're most concerned about. He can still bone 3 MP, and probably worth not losing the hit point. So this is the time. Before, when you're grinding on them, I don't necessarily like the sleep play, but here, if you got the MP, you use it, because it's probably saving you HP.
Here we go. He's got 12 heal mores down to the Dragon Lord. And we're going to see that Death Necklace get thrown on here momentarily. He'll be doing 134 attack power. And we'll see how it goes.
It looked like he might have momentarily thought about not putting it on, but that would be a much more difficult situation. Fully herbing up, trying to keep in that range to where he will, even if the Dragon Lord ambushes him, he does not lose an attack. But the Dragon Lord is not cooperating at all. For those unfamiliar, that is a 75% chance that he's going to cast Hurt More, although it is gated behind the 25% stop spell. But, however, he does take him down, and here we go. Battle is starting, and does take the ambush with the breath, so he loses 1 round right off the bat. There we go. Opening swing of 15. Pretty good. He is rolling 8 to 17, I believe. So anything in the mid to high double digits is great. And that makes 30. $17, max roll. These rolls are going completely in Nimanva's favor. Very much the favorite now. I may have jinxed him slightly as the rolls are now going the opposite direction. A 10, a 9. Let's see here. This is a 10. So yeah, that's 29 in 3 rolls after he had a 34 in 2 just a moment ago. An 8, a min roll. Wow, this is really turning... I wouldn't say it's bad yet, but it's turning that direction.
Yeah, this is just terrible. Just absolute terrible rolls here on the last 5 now.
Unfortunately, this is one of 2 enemies where the slogan "Just Crit" does not help.
Yeah, at this point, he's doing a pause. I think we are in that we're going to have to go for the YOLO and see what happens, but he swings through.
I don't know. I think, yeah, you see where these rolls go, and you use it in the absolute last moment if you don't think you're going to get it, but I think he's got a chance to win right now.
Gotta roll high. He's got 2 attempts here.
Big roll, 148 and 159, and it does it. GG's to Nimanva. It really took charge of the seed from the beginning and manages to withstand a very tough, very nervous Dragon Lord fight to take the win.
That was absolutely fantastic. Just a nail biter down to the finish. Yeah, fantastic job for Nimanva here. Get those GGs out for sure. So it looks like we finished with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 45 seconds. Meanwhile, on up2ng side, exploration's still the issue here. He is finally heading back towards the Hawksnest area. If he goes north, he will eventually get to Garenham, and I think he'll kind of understand what happened and where things went south in this race.
I probably would expect him as soon as he gets to that point to be like, I think I'm done with this seed.
And I believe we have Nimanva in chat with us. If you can hear us, say hi.
Hello.
Hello and GG's. That was a really nervous end there, wasn't it?
Yes, it was very nervous. Losing that Hillmore right at the end, and then just, oh my god, back attack, and everything just went wrong.
So, just over the course of the entire seed, how were you feeling? You know, sometimes as commentators we talk like, oh, I bet he thinks he's in the lead, or he feels really behind. But the seed seemed fairly even for you, right off, like, once that gold grind, the reset for the gold grind went, it seemed reasonably smooth.
Yeah, I was worried that I took too long resetting the gold grind, and took too long getting it going, so I thought I was a little behind, but I kind of, I found things pretty decently. I had a couple of deaths that kind of worried me, but I didn't feel behind most of the seed until I got to that back attack, and I'm like, I'm gonna die. I was so debating hurt more strats when I was getting down to the end. I'm like, no, we'll just swing.
Yeah, we saw that nice little pause when you had 16 MP left to try to figure out all the math and go, now wait, is this gonna work or is this not?
So if you were looking at the screen right now, you would see what the main separation was. The early gold grind didn't really end up mattering because I think up2ng ended up getting one out of Mountain Cave, and you were basically tied by the time he finished buying his stuff. But he has just found Grinham for the first time.
Garenham was up past Hawksness, right? Along the left side of the map.
And that's right, he just went... He went to Hawksness several times, and then when he finally got his flute, he stopped going that direction, and never came back until he cleared the rest of the world.
Ouch. I tried for the Blue Dragon the first time when I died. I decided to see what was past it first, and then come back. I'm glad I did, because that's how I found Garenham.
Yeah, that was something that up2ng did not do. He really kind of kept going at that Blue Dragon. He was a level or two below you when he did too, so it wound up eating up a bit of time there. And then ultimately, I mean, we saw what was underneath Hawksness, right?
Yeah, Hawksness wasn't very nice either. It had red dragons in there. I almost went back to fight the red dragons there for my level, but then I found them in that hill area out on the way back from Jerk Cave.
Yeah, you didn't want to go back and keep fighting those stone men?
No, I tried that and it just didn't feel well.
Yeah, I get that. That was no good grind tiles today, unfortunately, but there was some good overworld stuff at least. I remember seeing the more than one occasion those red dragons plonking right around Sharlock, but it seemed like you got away from a lot of them. We might see that up on your screen here in our view a little bit ago. We don't see how many red dragons you ran from in the seed. There we go. 21 fought, 8 won, 4 died. So 9 runs from Red Dragons has to not feel too bad. But that was kind of the story for both of you. It just seemed like you were getting away from all of the Reds on a reasonably regular basis. Have you had seeds like that before? Did you think that was odd?
See, it's weird. I've had seeds where I'll have like 20 agility, and I'll run from like 4 Reds in a row. And it's like, it's just so weird sometimes how that works.
Obviously, you must have siphoned some of the luck away from Beta Strap, I think, to manage that. So we all know how those go for him.
Of course, I wasn't too bad with Armored Knights until that last one.
Yeah, we were warning you early on in the seed to not use up all your run luck this early. You might want it later, and then you saw the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, when I burned that hill more, I almost outsided it and reset up and went back in.
So one more important question, and if you watch this back, you might get a good laugh at some of our reactions. But at what point did you realize that you had you needed to go back and get the stones, or did you know that like right away and were just not in any rush?
I knew it right away. I was waiting for a point where I was going to go into cold to heal up and then get them. But then I realized I needed herbs, so I'll just go in and get the stones and go around and get herbs real quick instead of going over to the Breckenary shop.
Well, you faked me out. I think every time it came up, I was just like, and there goes Cole with the stones, and Nim may or may not go back there.
Oh no, I knew I reset them away and I had to get them again. I made too many of those mistakes too many times not to make sure I don't do it again.
Yeah, you were getting me on that one too, because I was hypothesizing. I was like, I hope he didn't like cross off like on his sheet that he's got it and then just completely forget about it. So we did see up2ng finally completing all of his exploration, picking up his rainbow, picking up his sword and armor, and looks like he is going back in the cave here, whether it's to get these armor knights or to go down to that Stone Man for a level. We'll see what he opts to do.
That count wasn't so bad for those numbers being around 50.
We were real impressed with you being able to pull off a 99 tile count first try.
I think this cave dive isn't. He's going through to find. I think the harp trade-in was through here, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's through swamp.
Yeah, since he just picked it up, he has to do that. He went to he went to the cave before. He probably wasn't sure which trade-in it was, but when he was looking for the sword, he popped in there. So that has to be what he's doing now.
Yeah, and he'll probably hit 16 on his way in turning these things in, and we'll be able to take a immediate shot back into Charlock for the win.
Oof. And now having to hope that this thing rolls low. It doesn't. That's painful. The heal more caught. But yeah, Nim, now you're qualified. You're going to brackets. How do you feel?
Like I'll lose next time.
Well, it's okay if you lose one because they're all best of 3, right?
That is true. I can't wait to see what 2 seed I'm going to be facing.
Well, I think somebody was calling for you in chat. You probably don't have to guess to think of who that was.
Well, I haven't looked at chat, so I don't know.
Well, I'll let that be a surprise then. But, yeah, and we're going to have that reveal right after this race is over, so as we're just continuing to go on here. We're in no rush, though, obviously. Is there any other thoughts about the seed or anything that really kind of popped out at you?
I mean, it wasn't that bad as long as you didn't miss things. I mean, because there were some places you could miss and go the wrong way or just ignore. But if you found things, it's not that bad of a seed. And Charlock wasn't bad until I got to that Armored Knight. I was actually quite happy with the enemy set I saw in Charlock until the Armored Knight.
There really wasn't a whole lot you could do about it either, too, because it had heal more, and you were kind of like you can't swing through it reliably.
Oh yeah, knowing that it had heal more, it was a run only fight because I didn't want to waste magic points. I mean, I guess I could have swung twice and used 1 hurt more to kill 1, but then what about the rest of them that I didn't encounter?
So up2ng has almost made it to the Raindrop Cave, just about 600 experience short of level 16, which seemed like a very overwhelming go mode. Not super overwhelming, but there really wasn't much choice, I think, at that point.
Yeah, 16 was the right stats to be able to win with the Death Necklace. Which is why, when I went into a mountain, I'm like, I don't need anything else. And I went, wait, no. I could use the Death Necklace, probably. I should search this.
Yeah, we were actually, doing the backseat driving or whatever, and being like, Nim, you're not gonna need the Death Necklace. What are you looking for? Go grind, whatever. And then every level was 1 hit point and 10, or 1 power 10 hit points. And I'm like, well, it looks like Nim outsmarted the rest of us.
Plus, I got quite a bit of experience points in the bottom of the mountain, too.
Now, those red dragons were certainly treating well at that point.
Yeah, Red Dragons, Golems, both, 350 a pop here and there. It was going real well for you. up2ng, finally getting all his stuff there. I misread earlier when he came out of Jerk. I thought he was picking it up, but he hadn't gotten his staff yet. But now he's got everything, and looks like he's going to finish out 16 on this Stone Man.
I don't recall seeing any creatures with sleep. Did he find anything with sleep?
Funny you say that. The green dragon had sleep and was very rude to up2ng versus you.
Yeah, I killed a few of those and never saw it. I always want to know how a big stack of bricks can dodge.
Some fantastic answers in chat here. We have skill, it can crumble very carefully. I think I'll have to go with very carefully as my answer as well.
Was Big Slamu a 2-seed?
Yes, he is.
Is that who's wanting me?
Maybe.
Slamu, just remember what happened last time. Just remember what happened last time.
I think he wants his revenge. But here we go, up2ng, dropping the drop, making the dive, here we go.
Yeah, we'll see if this plays out as friendly as it did for Nim as he dove outside, you know, that one rude armor knight.
With the MP, the way it's lined up, I wonder if he would consider swing hurt more on the AK-47s, because he could do that for 3 of them, and that's probably, on average, what you're going to see.
I would hesitate to do that, generally speaking, because AK-47s can roll high enough, and you can roll low enough that, in fact, I feel like odds on that swing hurt more is only going to kill him about half the time, and the other half the time you've put him in heal more range, and you'll have to deal with that afterwards. So I don't know that I think swing hurt more is going to actually save any trouble.
Right, you'd have to be, I don't know, pretty much roll really high, I think, for that hurt more to more or less be guaranteed. And I don't think you could roll in the range where it would proc the heal more, because I think your max roll is something around 40. But yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, he's not even having to worry about armor knights. That axe knight 3 or 4 turn run blocked him there, ended up having to use a couple of herbs coming out of it, so getting trolled a little early here, but he's making it into zone 2 now.
Sometimes it can be depressing losing herbs during the dive, but I always tell myself that's what they're for. Like, keeping any for Dragon Lord 1 is a bonus, but the herbs are there so that you don't lose heal mores on the dive.
Oh yeah, Dragon Lord 1 was mean to me too. All those hurt mores in a row.
Yeah, game decided to scare us. Or scare you.
Yeah, that whole bottom floor was just an absolute roller coaster ride between the Lost Healmore, the DL1 battle, then the DL2 battle starting with amazing rolls and being like, oh, he's got this, and then all of a sudden, like, min-rolling the next 6 attacks. Okay, now what?
Yeah, that was rude.
think we're on to encounter like 6 or 7 in this Uru. It feels like every step is something unfortunate. We got 2, and then there's an enemy, and now 1, and there's another enemy, and there we go. 4 more steps to clear the floor. Hooray!
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous. Hopefully it lightens the load downstairs here, and he just got it all way earlier.
So, just almost clearing the Nirvana room there, and unfortunately runs into maybe the exact same armored knife that Nim had. This one looks to be doing very similar things. Yeah, this one does not want to let go. The anti-frozen, just keep holding on.
That was almost identical.
Yeah, encounter rate picking up here. It does make a little sense because you're in desert, but also it doesn't. Like, there's no point where, like, I accept that I'm getting all these encounters 3 steps away from the grind tile. And sleep. Stone Man dodges the sleep. The first one, second one sticks. And here the swing start. He could cast it one more time if he needs to, but these many hits in, we're just going. And there we go. The typical heal spell. If you're ever going to cast heal in Charlock, it's usually right after that tile or right before this dude at the end. Burn off all that extra MP. So 12 heal mores going into this fight. We'll see the Death Necklace put on immediately, and now it's just all up to the rolls.
I had more herbs. That's the only difference right now.
Well, maybe he will not cast Hurt more every time. Well, I guess the game is at least treating you both the same.
Well, let's see if the back attack comes through now.
There we go. Tilo keeping our count in track. I'm going to leave that one up to him. 12 and 13, again, that is basically his average right now. So you're hoping for a little bit more. 15 is a good one, though.
Yeah, we'll see how this one pans out. We saw Nim was able to make it through after several successive terrible rolls, and having gotten back attacked and having to heal more out of the gate. And so up2ng had the benefit of the opening attack at least, so he's got that in his favor.
Yeah, going looks to be reasonably well so far. Again, I think I said that last time, and that was right when the rolls completely collapsed. But proving that I can't actually jinx anybody is up2ng now.
Ooh, gets a bad heal more and is going to have to double up here, though. So there goes that little bit of that advantage that he had gained.
Yeah, that was very, very unfortunate. That's starting to make this fight look a lot tighter now.
Luckily, his rolls here have been doing very well.
Still not guaranteed, but very close at this point. There we go. GG's to up2ng. Does 156 on the Dragon Lord and is going to bring this home. Obviously going to be disappointed with the result, but did well throughout the race. Just wasn't able to find the stuff that he needed to at the same pace as his opponent.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's a real tough opponent. So, yeah, get those GGs out there for up2ng. Finish him with an official racetime.gg of 138.22.
And it does appear as that he will be joining us in just a little bit. We have no timeline on when all the rest of this stuff is going to happen. So we'll mention that there is still one tiebreaker race that will be happening tomorrow night. I believe at 9:30. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. So keep that in mind. But that will not inhibit the show that's going to come on in just a moment.
No, you nailed it. And with that, Dean, we do have up2ng joining us here in the booth. GG up2ng, a little rough there for you throughout this seed, but what were your thoughts?
Yeah, it's frustrating way to end the tournament, I think. There was just really no way I was ever going to win this race. It was just one of those races.
Yeah, you started out pretty well, grinded really well, got those early levels, got that early hurt more, came across Hawksness, and then we saw a lot of Blue Dragon just not participating, hurt more's not going your way, and then ultimately just not getting past Hawksness to finding Garenham until the very end of the race where it had some good items was really detrimental.
Yeah, it was probably a seed where the armor would have helped quite a bit. Which was in Garenham. Yeah, I mean, based on like how my first 20 minutes went, I just assumed that every single zone in the overworld had a red dragon. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna not go out onto the overworld anymore until I can beat a red dragon. Like, I mean, what are you gonna do? So then, of course, I go back out there, and there really weren't that many of them. So it's like, oh, well, now I'm clearly just behind by 30 minutes.
No, there was definitely, I think I counted 5 overworld zones with red dragons, and then they were in Hawksness, and then they were in the Grave 1/Mountain 2 combo, which you had the unfortunate finding early on, which sent you out of there after missing chest 5.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess he was able to navigate the map without grinding at all. So, I mean, it didn't seem possible to me. So, I just basically stopped everything and just did like a really poor grind. And I just didn't know what else to do. I couldn't make it more than 10 steps from the castle. Like, it was just crazy.
I did a little bit of a grind a couple times to the southeast of Charlock. There's Armored Knights, Star Wyverns that I could hurt more there.
Oh, wow, nice. I never saw that zone. I didn't see anything that I could hurt more. All I saw was red dragons. It was really bad.
So I think you probably realize the point of departure really kind of came along with Hawksness. I think Nim got there a little bit after you, and I think he had like a level on you, but he made the decision not to go in and ended up going straight to Garenham. And I think kind of at that point, there was just completely different trajectories for the race.
Well, I went in the first time I was there, and I got killed by the Blue Dragon. And then the second time I went up, I passed and went to Garenham.
Yeah, I mean, that's just luck at that point. If I beat the Blue Dragon and the armor's there, then it's different. If you go past and the armor's up there, then, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, you don't know where the armor's going to be.
After I got the armor, I came right back and killed the Blue Dragon.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the seed's totally different once you have the armor. Yeah, it's just nothing. I didn't feel good basically the entire race. So, I mean, it's just one of those that, I don't know, it actually just leaves a really bad taste in my mouth. I'm probably not going to play this game for a long time, but yeah, we'll see about next year. Maybe, maybe not.
We had very similar Charlock dies. We both had a Armored Knight that stopped us from running and lost to Hillmore too. And then we both had the DL1 just hurt more us down, not let us stay above the threshold. And I got back attacked by DL2, and then you had the Hurtmore or Hillmore bad luck. So we had pretty much the same bad luck in the bottom of Sharlock.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could see scenarios where you could actually lose that Dragon Lord fight, and that would have just been the icing on the cake, I suppose.
I thought I was going to, because I started off doing my first 3 hits were 14, 15, and 11, I think, and then I hit 9, 8, 10, 9.
Ooh, yeah, that's rough. Yeah, just in a Hurtmore seed, like I don't know. It feels like most Hurtmore seeds, you gotta be like getting close to sub-hour, and like if I'm not breaking an hour and a half, it's like there's literally no shot to win, and the race just went awful. Nothing went right. It was so bad.
Well, all right. I think we've kind of covered a lot of this. This was officially, as we've been stating, our last 1v1 race of the group stage. Doesn't wrap it up fully, as we've been mentioning in chat and earlier. We have that tiebreaker race tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. That'll set the 3 seed and I believe the Druin group. But we will be coming up with the brackets here momentarily for those that were able to move forward. So sit tight with that. Any final thoughts for the racers on this particular seed before we move forward, though?
No, nothing about the seed. I appreciate the restream. This is probably one that I won't watch, but it's always appreciated anyways.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody who does the work on these, because if it doesn't get restreamed, I mean, if you don't have the people working on it, you don't get a restream, and the audience doesn't get to see it.
Well, any final thoughts from either Teela or Aaron before we close out this portion of tonight's programming?
For me, the biggest one is that, I mean, obviously, GG to both of you. Your group was absolutely brutal. I dubbed it the group of death before when it was first drawn, and it's proven to be so much talent in there. And then when you put the one who ran the table being not one of those I was expecting to, I had included in the group of death. It just getting this far in him is really impressive, and even getting right here to the edge of 2ng, it was a rough group. So y'all both did really well.
And yeah, to echo that, this, I mean, we were looking at, I think I mentioned it earlier, like the slime group looked really bad on paper, but then I think this group kind of took the cake by the end. Just so many people who could have, like, very few races that weren't extremely competitive, at some point during them. Well, do you want to take us out, DK? We're not done. We're just done with this, but we're going to cut stream, and we'll be back in a few minutes with the big reveal.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get us out of here. So yeah, as Aaron said, you will see the stream go down briefly. We'll be switching restreamers to get our next portion with the bracket reveal together. So sit tight. Just watch for that live notification to pop back up. But for our restreamer, Math Girl 718, our tracker tonight, Camion Renikai, and our triple co-commentator group of Tilo, Aaron 2U2, I was DK9146. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Sit tight. We'll have some more for you here in a few minutes.